In the world of online dating, it's not uncommon to come across profiles that might read something like this. I'm a 35-year-old woman with 4 kids from 3 different fathers. No career to speak of, out of shape, and intelligence that's nothing to write home about. I carry more baggage than a transatlantic commercial passenger airline. Yet, I'm seeking a fit and attractive young man who seems to hit the gym 8 days a week, holds at least a master's or doctorate degree from an Ivy League university, is an astronaut, boasts a net worth of at least $1 million minimum, has no kids, has never been divorced, adores traveling, loves me for who I am, no questions asked, will dedicate his life to serve me, and will somehow give me attention for 28 hours a day. Sound familiar? It's a glimpse into what seems to be the typical modern mindset of some individuals in the dating world, the laundry list of seemingly unattainable expectations. It often appears as an unshakable sense of self-entitlement, often accompanied by an unrealistic perspective.
Decades of feminism. After decades of feminism that aim to empower women and challenge traditional gender roles, it appears that in some cases, these messages have been interpreted in ways that portray men negatively. The bitterness and loneliness mentioned might be the result of a complex interplay of societal expectations and perceptions. The sense of hopelessness, sometimes linked with anti-male sentiments, can create a self-fulfilling prophecy. When individuals feel undervalued or that they are facing unjust criticism, they might either withdraw and focus on self-improvement or react by reinforcing the stereotypes they've been presented with. On the note of traditional gender roles, there is an interesting shift occurring. Men are still often expected to fulfill their traditional roles as husbands, fathers, protectors, and breadwinners. These roles have remained relatively intact despite evolving gender dynamics. However, the same kind of expectation isn't always applied to women, who are encouraged to be whoever they want to be in modern society. This contrast raises questions about consistency and fairness. The shifts in the workforce, which have seen more women taking on careers outside the home, have indeed reshaped the traditional roles within families. While some women have excelled in these roles and are highly qualified, many feel a sense of dissonance with their career paths. It's essential to recognize that these feelings aren't universal but specific to individual experiences. The challenges and frustrations faced by men today can be seen as a consequence of the significant changes in gender dynamics. Independent women. In the present day, we often encounter women who proudly proclaim their strength and independence and tout their financial success, much of which might come from various forms of work. But there's a notable reluctance on their part to contribute financially when it comes to dating. This seems like a clear case of a double standard, and the irony is hard to ignore. It's a situation that's almost too bizarre to believe, considering marriage in Western society today feels about as enticing as sticking one's hand in a blender. The process of divorce often resembles the violence depicted in the film 300. The fear of potentially being separated from one's own children, with little recourse, is indeed terrifying. The stories we hear about men who are financially devastated by divorce proceedings, only to see their ex-partners move on within a month, are truly disheartening. The fatigue men experience from approaching women and being labeled as creepy or perverted, despite their genuine intentions, has led many to adopt a hands-off approach. It's reminiscent of the saying, "Be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it." Once you filter out women adorned with tattoos, piercings, vibrant hair colors, unconventional attire, or a lack thereof, coupled with aggressive and confrontational attitudes, the pool of potential partners dwindles significantly. This leaves men with the option of casual encounters, which some women find unsatisfactory. In response, men tend to opt for brief connections or, more recently, opt to abstain from dating altogether due to the increasing difficulties and diminishing returns. To be candid, it's perplexing when a good relationship is deemed insufficient, and a great one is considered the bare minimum. It raises the question of what precisely these women are seeking. It appears they are in pursuit of the very best that the world can offer. This highlights a fundamental difference between men and women in the realm of dating and life in general. When a man aspires to own a Ferrari, he understands that hard work and dedication are prerequisites to achieving that goal. Women, on the other hand, often aim to manifest their desires, anticipating that a standard home, an ordinary vehicle, and a trustworthy partner who genuinely loves and respects them is, at best, a compromise, or at worst, akin to living in a nightmare. This notion that life owes them the best of everything often sets women up for disappointment. In fact, men often gravitate toward dating women who are not as financially well off as they are. Some prefer partners with less formal education. Research indicates that men might find excessive intelligence in women somewhat unattractive. Interestingly, when they perceive a woman as more intelligent than themselves, it can lead to a decrease in interest. In some cases, men who are intrigued by educated women still give them lower ratings in terms of physical attractiveness, according to evolutionary psychologists. I tend to agree with this perspective, as I would personally be reluctant to date someone who earns more than I do. This is not driven by fear, but rather by the anticipation that she might make jokes about her higher income, potentially undermining my authority. The challenge of dating women. The challenge of engaging with women is compounded by the associated risks, particularly when it comes to approaching them directly. In today's climate, if a woman disapproves of you, she not only has the capacity to humiliate you, but can also potentially inflict severe harm, given the legal structures that largely favor her side. This has led to a general sentiment of why bother within our society. Men no longer desire the potential for dramatic complications from beginning to end, especially when women increasingly view men as obsolete entities, a perspective seemingly endorsed by the system. Consequently, the question of why bother looms large. Much of this apprehension stems from a legal framework and societal norms that have made interactions with females a potential liability. Many men I know are hesitant to pursue romantic connections, as they fear the prospect of unfounded allegations that could potentially harm their future success. The issue is that in the past, even the average man could secure dates and enjoy romantic experiences. However, the contemporary dating landscape favors only the most attractive individuals, leaving a significant portion of the male population without partners. Men often face countless rejections based on an ever-expanding list of expectations from women, including physical appearance, financial status, and physical attributes. If we aim for a stable society and a thriving middle class, a few steps could be considered. We might contemplate the prohibition of dating apps and social media, coupled with reducing taxes and regulations, encouraging domestic manufacturing through tax incentives, and dismantling media monopolies could also foster a more balanced society. Simplifying the tax code and offering tax breaks to new businesses could make entrepreneurship more accessible. Rethinking the current public education model is crucial, given its vested interests in the failure of the middle class. Finally, ending the practice of no-fault divorce, acknowledging that men can be innocent as well, and adopting policies that promote more traditional gender roles might contribute to a more harmonious society. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.